This spawn used to be hunted only by mages, but now is a great place for knights. This is Oramond East Minotaurs. This spawn is located to the east of Oramond City and is known as a second spawn to the Oramond Minos that most people hunt, which is on the south side, which you will have to run through at first in order to get to the spawn by taking the teleport here. Getting points from tasks of the Oramond quest unlocks a shortcut straight to the city, but that is optional, but I do recommend to work on it, at least the task of picking routes while hunting here, and after your first 50 points, then you can start doing the task of killing Minos, which you can do easily by hunting in here. This spawn is better in density and also tends to be less occupied than the south side, since it is harder to hunt, especially for lower levels. In the case of a knight, the minimum level requirement is of 150, and that is because you must have the range XLRS to hunt in here, otherwise it's not viable, and hence why now it is a viable option to hunt, but despite it being a good option, I still don't see many knights hunting here. I personally like it a lot, and it's a great way to work on getting boats for the Oramond quest and also working on their bestiary. My way of hunting is doing a lap across the spawn by rotating through these 10 pools, including going up the stairs by the southwest, which by the way you can do another task in this room. By clicking on this crate, you get a supply crate. Then when going down, use that on the water southeast, and after doing it 10 times, it completes the supplies task. But of course, in order to maintain the experience while hunting, just do this once at a time when doing the pool. This way, after doing 10 laps is when you finish the task. And speaking of experience, hunting like this on my new server Ike at level 161, skills 92, fully imbued, I was doing a bit under 1.2kk raw XP, which might not sound like much, but keep in mind that this is not the peak of this spawn. On another Ike with high skills, level 152, skills 123, I was doing 150k more of raw experience. However, I was also clearing the Minos on the top of the middle mountain, and I don't recommend doing that. Those pools have high-class Minotaurs that are not worth including, at least not this early on. Doing the lap I mentioned before, which is the most optimized, on a EK level 160, skills 117, my raw experience was a bit under 1.5kk in average, and this is around the most you can do on this side of the spawn hunting like this. But with more levels, you can start to include the high-class Minotaurs, especially the northeast area has a lot of monsters. I recommend to wait until 180 or even level 200 depending on the skills. And when including that area, I will do a lap around it and then go back to the main side and just do the 4 pools by the north. This helps to continue picking up the routes for the task, but the main reason is to give time to the monsters to respawn on the northeast. Sometimes just doing one big pool by the stairs and another to the south is enough time to get respawn, but I prefer being able to do the route task. And when doing this lap on my level 182, skills 123, I was doing 1.7kk raw experience. And with my level 201 and skills 94, I was doing 1.5kk raw XP. But besides the experience and task, there is another reason to hunt on either sides, and that is for profit. When hunting the normal Minotaurs, I was doing between 70 to 120k profit the hour, with the creature products at NPC price, which 3 of them are worth more on the market: the blue and green pieces of cloth and the mutal shells. These will increase the profit based off their prices on your server, which on my server will add around 100k of extra profit. And when doing the lap of the high class Minotaurs, the waste will be higher, but it's still good profit, since you will be looting another creature product, the mutant horns. These tend to be very expensive on most servers, since hunting these Minotaurs is not very common, but at the same time, since they are needed for the axe imbuement, which is probably the least popular, they will be harder to sell. Regardless, I was still profiting 150 to 200k per hour on the high class Minos, so both of them are great spawns to hunt and very underrated for knights. And that's all I got for this one. If you want more recommendations, check out my playlist for solo knights. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Tuna Hero, Thor the Slasher, and Night Star.